My name is Roger Johnson. I like taking pictures and I love to travel. Whether it's working as a professional tour guide, a flight attendant, or on my own for fun. Across America or around the world. This is my show. Hi there, welcome to this month's adventure update. I am Roger Johnson and I'm here with my good friend Dave Dahl. Just a couple of months ago, back in July, we decided we were going to hike to the highest point in California, Mount Whitney. It's also the highest point in the contiguous 48 states. And then if you include Hawaii too, it's the highest point in the United States outside of Alaska. Pretty cool. What is the 14,494 feet tall? That's pretty cool.
Oh, it's awesome.
But now the reason I invited you along is you've done some real mountains before.
Yes, I've done Mount Rainier 4 times, Mount St. Helens, which is really cool. Also a couple in Colorado there up in the 14s.
Okay, but now like Mount Rainier and stuff, you need ice axes and crampons and all of that stuff.
Mount Rainier is a technical climb. You have to be roped up with a rope team, and you have to be prepared for glacier, crevasse fall rescues and stuff like that.
So that's the other reason I decided to do Mount Whitney. No technical climbing gear or anything, just a nice trail all the way up.
That's right.
But before we did Mount Whitney, we decided we were going to acclimatize. Also on the trip with us was Dave's brother Dale and a friend of his Dan and Dan's son Connor. Broke to Lake Tahoe, and then we headed down to Yosemite National Park. I'd been there several times before. Yeah. I think it was quite a treat. It was a treat for me, even though I'd been there before.
Yeah, it's a great park, great views anywhere you go climbing.
So yeah, we did a couple of small hikes. First place, what was it? Indian Mountain, Indian Mound, Indian Peak.
Well, we're climbing Indian Rock, which is actually up there, but this looked really cool with this arch, so we decided to stop here.
Really cool views. You're like looking straight across the valley at Half Dome. Mm-hmm. And then to the top of Yosemite Falls, which I'd always wanted to do. Dan and Dave and Dale, everybody else but me decided they were going to go swimming up in these pools up at the top. Something I wouldn't recommend in the springtime.
Yeah, when there's a lot of water. It's really cool though, is the water flow was very low that day, so these pools are very deep and cold, and it was very refreshing after the long couple-hour hike up there.
From there, it was on to the Mount Whitney portal, Mount Whitney trailhead, and up the mountain. What time did we get started that first morning? We were up at the crack of dawn.
Oh, I think it was about 8 o'clock.
Was it 8? Okay.
Yeah.
But we hiked in to the base camp, set up our tents and everything, where we spent the night at, what was the elevation there?
It was at 8,050 feet.
Okay, or that was the
Whitney portal.
At Whitney portal, yeah. And the base camp was at about 12,000 feet where we spent the night.
Yes.
Got up even earlier the second morning. That was like 5 o'clock. I mean, it wasn't even.
We got up at 4 o'clock. That's where alarm went off, and then we start hiking at 5:15.
Okay. So we made our way up, and there's this huge. They like switchbacks on the Mount Whitney Trail. The nicest trail I've ever seen.
Yeah. Apparently there was 99 switchbacks.
99 switchbacks. And we made it to the summit at, it was like 9 o'clock, 9:15, something
about
like that.
9 o'clock.
All right, Mount Whitney, highest point in the lower 48.
High point number
20. I think mine was number 2.
The rest of our team got up there about 9:15.
Yeah, and that was cool because for Dan and Connor, neither one of them had ever climbed any mountain before. And so they make it to the summit, and their first high point, their first mountain, and it's the highest point in the contiguous 48 states. So that was really cool. So even though it was only, 61 feet less, or no, Mount Whitney was 61 feet higher than my second highest mountain that I've now climbed, Mount Elbert, Colorado, the highest point in Colorado. This was still much easier, even though it was higher. But I think that's because I trained.
I think also because we did a lot of climatizing too.
Well, that probably helped too.
Spending 2 nights at 8,100 feet in Yosemite helped.
So, But yeah, so that's why it was good having you along, because otherwise I would not have done that. I would just driven straight out of there, driven through Death Valley, and then gone up to the mountain,
And
that
get
wouldn't
some
have- wouldn't
acute
have been
mountain
good.
sickness. That wouldn't be.
not when you're by yourself.
No.
So no, so it was a really fun hike. It was a really fantastic trip. I'm glad that you came along. You're gonna have to share with me mountaineering expertise in the future. Bora Peak next year.
Bora Peak.
Are you ready for Bora Peak?
I'm ready for Bora Peak.
Highest point in Idaho. I don't remember what the elevation was.
I'll do Hood and Rainier again too.
So okay, give me the what's the website for the club that you belong to?
I belong to a club called Solar, and it's School for Outdoor Leadership and Recreation.
Now, are they just in Michigan, or do they have like branches and stuff around the
It's
country?
just in Michigan and southeast Michigan, right around the Detroit metro area.
So if you want a good mountaineering school, Michigan is the place to go, apparently.
Yeah.
No, if you happen to be in Michigan, it is a good club where you've learned a lot and you actually instruct there a little bit.
Yes.
And if you want to find out more about high pointing in general, there is actually a club. Highpointers.org is the website. And once again, always check out welcometoamerica.us, my website. You can check out 50 States, 50days.us, where you can watch my feature-length documentary, which also does feature Mr. Dave Dahl a little bit. Dave was in the movie. You can watch that. It's only $2.50 for, you can rent it for a whole week online there. That's only 50 nickels. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever it is, you can shoot me an email at roger@welcometoamerica.us. So until next week, next month, whatever time that happens to come out, we'll see you then. And Bora Peak next year.
Bora Peak.
I need to tell my story.
Sure.
I'm famous, apparently. I'm up at the top. This guy comes from New Zealand, comes over and shakes my hand. He said, "This is the guy I want to meet." He had seen the article in J.C. Penney about me. And so in the middle of nowhere on the top of Mount Whitney, I was recognized and was famous.